So this is chapter 14, where we are going to talk about GUI design. By the end of the chapter, these are the applications that we would have made. A very simple GUI, a basic calculator, we will gloss over this, there's a lot of copying and pasting here, and then some SpongeBob applications, of course. But this is all about GUI design. What I mean by that is in Java, you kind of have to break it into two things. You design the GUI, and then you make the functionality. So none of these graphical user interfaces you see on the screen will actually work. They'll look pretty, but they won't work until the next chapter where we do learn how to make the functionality and user interaction. So this is chapter 14, GUIs with JavaFX. We are going to be using JavaFX, not Swing. JavaFX is a newer version, as we will talk about very shortly. Here is our agenda. The majority of this chapter, we are actually going to be sticking inside of CIT 130 textbook examples, so I can just walk you through how some of these things work. But we will make those GUIs you saw in the image at the start of this video at the end. But a lot of it is just going to be reviewing textbook examples. So this is kind of what I said before, it's a note and disclaimer. In this chapter, we will learn how to create GUIs, graphical user interface, but they will not yet be interactive. We'll have a button that does absolutely nothing. Let me use Blackboard as an example. When you go to our Blackboard site, you know we have a folder for every week of the course. Week 5 looks like it's a hyperlink, the little hand comes up, so if I click week 5, I expect it to send me into our week 5 content, and it does. Well, in our GUIs, it will look like a button, and it will feel like a button, but when you click it, nothing will happen. That is when we will get into chapter 15, we'll learn about that stuff. So just to make that clear, what and why? JavaFX is a new-ish framework for developing Java GUI programs. We used to use Swing or AWT, but those have for a long way been on their way out. So JavaFX is kind of taken over now, and it's a new standard. Swing and AWT will be, they will stop having support soon enough, so FX is definitely what you want to learn. It's also quicker and easier once you do get the hang of it. Creating GUIs is generally a lengthy process, but with our knowledge of object-oriented programming, inheritance, and interfaces, all of this is mandatory to know. This process will become much shorter and easier. There are many aspects we can extend, implement, create objects of, etc. to break down our code and workload. When I first introduce it to you, we won't use too much like object-oriented programming and methods. I just want to show you how to make a picture. But we will start to clean up our code as we continue. AWT and Swing versus FX. JavaFX, like I said, is new. Swing is essentially dead because it will not receive any further enhancements. So they no longer support Swing, they're not updating it. They are updating FX. FX also has the ability for multi-touch, so you can make applications for today's modern smartphone. Has built-in 2D and 3D animations. You can play video and audio playback. Third-party software allows you to even create apps for Android, such as Android Studio, using JavaFX. So we'll talk about the basics in just a second, but just another quick disclaimer. All of the chapters we've gone over so far this semester for the past 3 months or so, you have been learning a lot of new logic. All of the logic is pretty much done now. Now, in this chapter and the next one, we're just going to be learning rules, features, and syntax. Like, there's not really much logic when it comes to designing a GUI. There's a little bit, but compared to what we've been learning, there's not a lot of new logic here. It's just design patterns.